Peter Baker, writing at the Times, writes here about Bolton, the former National Security Advisor, and that his book, Bolton's book, The Room Where It Happened, God, it sounds like rape, doesn't it? Sounds like where a body was mutilated. Man, it sounds like a place where Khashoggi was dismembered. The Washington Post journalist. Anyway, as Baker points out, the book depicts Trump as a corrupt, poorly informed, reckless leader who has used the power of his office to advance his own personal needs and interests ahead of the nation's. Okay. But the thing about Bolton, fuck John Bolton. I've never liked John Bolton. I'm glad his book's out, but I still say fuck John Bolton, a warmongering bastard. Bolton is as close as the George Bush administration came to having a Nazi working for them, or a fascist anyway, until Trump came along. So fuck Bolton, for real. But the book is very interesting. It describes, I haven't read it yet, no, but I've read some excerpts now, like most people have. I probably will not read the book. Will you? I'm going to rely on how it's reported, because I'm sure the journalists will pick out the most damning parts. But it describes Bolton's 17 months with Trump through a bunch of crises that were engineered by Trump and foreign policy challenges that Trump always fucked up. But attention in the book has, or I mean by people who have read it so far, attention is focused mainly on Bolton's assertions that the Orange Ape took a bunch of actions that should have been investigated for possible impeachment beyond just pressuring Ukraine to incriminate Democrats. And this is why the Democrats wanted him to come in to the House and testify. Now, there's been a lot of talk, well, if it was so goddamn important, why didn't the Democrats take it to court? Sue him, bring him in. Because they would still be fighting it in court. That's why. It would still be an ongoing court case. That's what Trump wanted. He wanted Bolton or the House to use the court system to get Bolton to testify. Bullshit. Anyway, keep in mind Bolton offered to testify in the Senate, but the Republicans in the Senate, those dirty son of a bitches, who are now members of the Trump cult, there is no Republican Party left. You do understand that. If you call yourself a Republican, you better just stay home. Well, go vote in your local elections. But if you vote for Trump, again, you're not voting Republican. Not even close. You're voting for a fascist idiot. But that may be exactly what you want. I may be right, or no, you may be right, I may be crazy, but it just might be a lunatic you're looking for, as Billy Joel said, right? Anyway, Bolton's book confirms just a whole raft of the elements of the Ukraine scheme that got Trump impeached back in December. Anyway, Bolton asserts that the Orange Ape was willing to intervene in criminal investigations to get favor with foreign dictators. Do you realize what this fucker is? What Trump... Malloy, you've been screeching and sounded like a rusty wheel for 3 fucking years. Yeah, I know. So have a lot of people. And every prediction of criminal behavior of Trump and his filthy, fucking, disgusting family, those 2 adult boys and that adult daughter of his, every fucking one of them belongs under a jail somewhere. Oh, yeah, and Jared Kushner, his son-in-law. What a group of thugs. But Trump was willing to intervene in criminal investigations to curry favor with foreign dictators, according to Bolton. And Bolton says that the Orange Ape pleaded, begged, offered to give him head, China's president, if China's president would just help him win re-election by buying American crops grown in key farm states. Help me, Rhonda. I got some highlights from the book for you, thanks to the New York Times. First, an offer of first-hand evidence on the Ukraine matter. All right, here's what it says. The book offers first-hand evidence that Mr. Trump linked his suspension of $391 million in security aid for Ukraine to his demands that Ukraine publicly announce investigations into wrongdoing by Democrats, including Joe Biden Jr. And this was the heart of the impeachment case against the Orange Ape. Now, Baker says if Bolton's account is to be believed, it means that Trump explicitly sought to use taxpayer money to leverage to extract help from another country for Trump's partisan political campaign. A quid pro quo the House Democrats called an abuse of power. Well, what the fuck would you call it? A cheese sandwich? And every single Republican decided to go along with the corruption. Every filthy, goddamn, rotten Republican legislator. Shame on you people. You are just beyond disgusting. And every fucking one of you, with a couple of exceptions, claim to be followers of Jesus of Nazareth. You hypocritical pricks. Good God. And at the time of the impeachment hearings, you remember, these filthy Christian Republicans dismissed the accusations by saying that the witnesses offered only secondhand evidence. John Bolton, on the other hand, was in the room, which is the title of the book, the room where it happened. Yeah. Bolton says that he and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Defense Secretary Mark Esper tried 8 to 10 times to persuade the Orange Ape to release the aid which Ukraine desperately needed to defend itself against a continuing war with Russia-sponsored forces. But Trump didn't dare do that because Trump knew that if he did, even did it surreptitiously, where he thought nobody knew, Mitch McConnell, the Russia mole, and his wife, the Chinese mole, would have let both of those foreign powers know immediately that Trump had done it. And then Putin would have pulled the string that brought the hammer down on Trump's fucked up head. Whatever Putin is holding, it must be a bitch. Anyway, this critical meeting, according to the book, took place on August 20th, when Bolton writes, Mr. Trump, quote, said he wasn't in favor of sending them anything, the Ukrainians, until all the Russia investigation materials released or related to Clinton and Biden had been turned over, end quote. He's referring, of course, to Hillary Clinton. Bolton otherwise confirms testimony offered by his former Russia advisor. Remember her, Fiona Hill? Remember her testimony, the woman with the slight or more than slight British accent, fluent in Russian? Anyway, Fiona Hill said that John Bolton objected to what Bolton called the drug deal. Remember that? Being cooked up by Trump's associates? Who would that be? Oh, let me think. His fucked up daughter, his 2 fucked up sons, and his super fucked up son-in-law, you suppose? Oh, and let's not forget the Nazi Jew, Stephen Miller. Jesus. The deal being cooked up by those scum to force Ukraine to help get anything they could find on Biden, even if they had to make it up. And remember, he called Giuliani, Trump's personal lawyer, who was up to his ass in alligators in this whole affair. Bolton called Giuliani, quote, a hand grenade who's going to blow everything up, end quote. I wish. Bolton writes that he suspected that Giuliani had personal business interests at stake. And Bolton adds that he had the matter reported to the White House counsel's office. The book, Bolton writes this, quote, I thought the whole affair was bad policy, questionable legally, and unacceptable as presidential behavior. Was it a factor in my later resignation? Yes, but as one of many straws that broke the camel's back that contributed to my departure, end quote. Well, John, what are you saying? Are you saying that it just took a whole series of criminal acts by this filthy fucking ape in the White House before the light finally dawned on you? Well, like I said earlier, fuck you, John Bolton. In the next little section I have here for you, Bolton explains a lack of testimony, and he places the blame on the Democrats, the lack of his testimony, I guess. Anyway, as the book is getting closer and closer to general publication, and these details are coming out from advanced copies, a lot of congressional Democrats quickly assailed Bolton for not telling his story during the impeachment proceedings, and instead saving it for his $2 million book. Well, I mentioned this the other day. Bolton may be a fucking fascist. He may be almost as bad as Trump. But where money is concerned, come on, $2 billion large? Are you kidding? Phew. Anyway, Bolton explains his position in the epilogue. And he says he wanted to wait to see if a judge would order his former deputy, Fiona Hill, to testify over White House objections. House Democrats opted not to pursue the case, fearing endless litigation. Once the House impeached Trump over the Ukraine matter, Bolton volunteered to testify in the Senate trial that followed if he were subpoenaed to protect his ass, so that when the bullets start flying, Bolton doesn't want to be in the crossfire, metaphorically speaking, right? But, as you remember, Senate Republicans voted to block new testimony by Bolton and any other witness, even after the New York Times reported that Bolton's forthcoming book would confirm the quid pro quo, which it does. Wow. And according to Peter Baker, some of those Republican senators said that even if Bolton was correct, it would not be enough in their minds to justify making Trump the first president in American history convicted and removed from office. Oh, you Christian fucking swine, you. I wish your Messiah, just for a few minutes, with his awesome power. He's the offshoot of God, isn't he? Jesus of Nazareth, according to you dumb fucks. But I wish all of that shit was true for just a few minutes, and that your Jesus would come back and, using his incredible supernatural powers, just fucking eliminate every one of you all at the same time. Kill you? No. I wouldn't. No. Just send you straight to hell. Straight to hell. Can you imagine Jim Jordan in hell? Hey, where's the locker rooms? Just kidding, Satan. Just kidding. Oh, my God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast, or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com,
and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.